to episode 1304. Don't know where I went there. Of the Should I
You were
Play
going
This
to say
Game?
12th of August, but
Yeah,
you
I was,
said
and then
you were going to say episode 12.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, episode 304 of the Should I Play This Game podcast for the 12th of August 2024. It's been a little while. We've had some stuff going on. Mainly me.
I haven't.
I've been working, or
Yep.
travelling and working. Had a week in Melbourne. I'm going to run over my dog. It was good. I survived. Didn't get sick, which is always good. So we're back. And yeah, we've got a podcast to do. So we're not scheduled to do one this week, but we thought we'd do one anyway because it's been a while. It's been, was it 3 weeks or 4 weeks? 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Because there have been 2 weekends of me doing probably way more videoing than is probably necessary. But I did it anyway, god damn it.
Yeah, so last one was out on the 22nd, so it's been 3 weeks. So we're in a podcast. So, your games. What have you been up to in the last 3 weeks?
Quite a bit.
Push that button. Oh, look at that.
And it strikes me that there's a couple things I forgot to put on because of video stuff, but whatever. So, while you were indisposed, while you were businessmanning it up, there were I think I did 6 checkouts off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
The one I really should have put on here and forgot to was the Night Springs DLC for Alan Wake 2, which, hey, I was about to say Remnant. That's the game, but Remedy, they write themselves good video game stuff, hey?
They've been known to.
And that writing, the strength of that writing continued into that DLC pack, which is 3 sort of Twilight Zone-y episodes, where one is a crazed, obsessed Alan Wake fan who just refers to him as the writer. So every time she said the writer, all I could think of was Coheed and Cambria, because there's a character in that universe called the writer, which I think is funny. Jesse Faden made a comeback in the 2nd episode, and the dude from Quantum Break is in there for the 3rd episode.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Sam Lake managed to stick himself in there too, because why wouldn't he? That thing's great. Moving on. I have shown these off on Friday shows. Before we get to the actual games, 2 things. Yet another new controller. This one is actually not a piece of shit, though. The game's Xbox version of the Khalid. I don't want to say Khaled because then you got DJ Khaled comparisons, and that dude's a fuckwit. Hall effect sticks, Hall effect triggers, micro switches on the buttons. Very, very nice controller. And I unboxed this on the Friday show. Check it out, Graham. I have a new arcade stick, and this is the size of it.
Is it missing something?
I bought a leverless arcade stick. 12 buttons.
Where's the stick bit?
It's not it doesn't have one. It's a leverless arcade stick.
It's a what?
So there we go. These 3 buttons here, left, right, down, and then the thumb sits on this button here, which is for up or jump.
Oh, that's weird. So it's actually like WASD kind of a.
Yeah, kind of a WASD. So these leverless arcade sticks have been kicking around for a while. Like Hitbox is probably the main one that most people are familiar with. They've been kicking around for years. Razer has one, and in Australia it is $500. And I was like, fuck that. But a video game podcast, a different one I listened to, talked about the 16-button variant of this very controller. The Hort 42 M12 Plus. That podcast talked about the 16-button one, which had obviously 16 buttons. This one has 12. And I gave it a bit of go. I haven't played it I haven't done anything on video with it yet. I'm gonna do a video at some point, and I'm gonna have the second camera pointed at the actual controller. But I'm gonna wait till either Terry Bogard's out for Street Fighter or the Chaos expansion's out for Mortal Kombat, or both. But it's cool. I played around in Street Fighter 6 for a little bit with it, and I was starting to get a handle on it. It's weird. You can like hold down and then just press forward twice and do a punch, and a dragon punch will come out because the way that it inputs directions and things like that. Or you can just press the forward button, press down punch, and then a dragon punch will come out off that too.
Mm.
It's fucking weird. But anyway, let's talk about actual video games. Sir Mount. This is going to be the last time I talk about Sir Mount, because I'm done. And not by I'm done finished. I'm done as in I just got so completely frustrated and just borderline infuriated, actually. The physicsy stuff that made it so fun in the beginning hampers so much progress when you get about 30% of the way in.
Okay.
And the game lays out rules for how ledges work, which are sort of in the background. And there's meant to be, on the bottom side, you can swing as much as you want. Mm-hmm. On the top, you can only do half a swing, and it'll let you go. Mm-hmm. Only no matter where I grabbed on the ledge, I would swing, and I would let go after half a swing. Mm-hmm. I couldn't figure out if it was a bug. I couldn't figure out if the game just didn't follow its own rules. I tried asking on the Steam discussion boards. Nothing got answered. Mm-hmm. So I just had so many runs that got fucked up by that, particularly as the expeditions got longer and longer and more challenging.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It just, the mountain became too hard to climb. Which, not exactly a pun that was intended when I wrote that down, but it just worked too well that I couldn't not use it. But it's a shame because it starts off so well.
They were certainly very very positive when we did our checkout a couple of weeks back. So yeah.
I really was. And like I said, I don't know if the ledges thing was just I happened to get some weird bug pop up or something like that, but no one has responded to me. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm uninstalling this. I'm not playing this anymore. So I did. Anyway. This game, though, I can't remember how I found out about it, which is the case for a lot of these games. Ended up playing the demo on the Friday show a couple of weeks back. Ember Ward. Came out in early access late June. And it's tower defense meets Tetris. Kind of. Mm-hmm. So you have an environment. So in the key art, you can see some little wooden, I guess, ledges that you can, like Gears of War, hide behind traditionally. Mm-hmm. You don't actually have a physical corporeal form in the environment. It's tower defense. You lay down things. There's a fire in the middle. These monsters are trying to get at your fire for some reason. I don't know. You put little offensive towers down to shoot them and kill them, and then you can lay these tetraminos down to force them to go in a specific path. And then you can lay... Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, I'll give this a run. I don't know if I'll dig it or not, off the back of really enjoying Hex Guardian. Mm. And I played through damn near the entire demo on the Friday show. Because I was just enjoying it. It's not exactly difficult. I had one monster make it into my hearth across, I think, 8 stages. But you can just set up these incredibly fucked up pathways that just have 8 flamethrowers in a row, or it sets up a little, almost like a shower, but it just rains acid down on the enemies, on the monsters.
So, click on the screenshots thing. I just want to ask a question.
Okay.
So click through to I think the next one. So you've obviously put down the green and the purple bits because they're the pieces. Mm. Are the sort of the grey colour one? They are hard set already in the map.
They're just there in the environment.
Okay, so for example, looking at that map, you can see there's a sort of a red line being drawn in the environment. Is what path they're going to take.
That's the monster pathing, yeah.
So that's the path they would take, and you can change that a bit by putting in the pieces to change the path a bit to create extra trait points and stuff like that.
You can't completely close some pathways off.
Of course, you got to still let them get through for sure.
Yeah, but otherwise, you can lay down and just have them take these really weird circuitous paths. After each level, you'll get sort of additions you can make to the pieces as well. So I had one straight piece that was like twice the size. That was like double sized.
Okay.
So it was a fucking giant line. Yeah. And then by putting that down, I could put big fuck off sniper towers and shit down.
Mm.
I think a good idea for a video perhaps might be if you were to download the demo and we look at it that way.
Mm.
Because I think trying to, like, you can verbally explain it in some regards, but I think seeing it and playing it, you get a much better idea of the appeal of it.
No, I think you've sold it very well. I mean, the
hilariously,
the art looks really nice for a start.
Yeah, it's really quite pleasant. And there's little bees and shit, and you fuck them up.
So the actual pieces you place, are they card based? Like there's a stack there to the right.
They are card, but you get cards that have they're not pure Tetraminos like some of them are, like pure Tetris pieces, but. Yeah. Mike bought this either 3 days after I did, or 3 days after I did, and has played 10 hours of it.
But so at what point do you click on the stack to get more pieces?
Like here?
Yeah, like you says draw 5.
Oh, sorry, I'm moving the mouse on the wrong window. You're talking this stack?
Yeah. So do you when you run out of pieces, you just click it, and there's a gameplay element that links having to do it, or what?
That is a fantastic question. It's been a while since I've played the demo, and because I don't really play things in early access till they come out. But after a while, you can either draw it at the cost of the gold, or after a while, it just after the end of a specific wave, it just redraws them for you. Because for the most part, you're creating a narrow enough pathway, and you can put you can see the weapons down here. You can put so many things down that it just becomes an absolute pathway of death.
Yeah, for sure.
In the most super satisfying of ways. Like, it's really not hard, but you don't need it to be. It's fun.
Yeah. You can only place your weapons on the things you've put down, or on anything.
You can put them on any of the blocks,
but not the stacks of wood though.
I think I think you can, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay. I can't quite remember. But like, you can see this sniper tower here needs a double width block to be able to place on it, because it's a lot bigger.
A lot wider. Yeah, okay.
So, like, I don't know what happened, man. Tower defense has come back in 2024.
Well, they've been made. I don't know if they necessarily come back.
Well, there's that.
They've been made.
But they're actually good. Like, Hex Guardian was really good.
Yeah.
I'm digging the fuck out. Well, I dug the fuck out of the Ember Ward demo, so now I'm just waiting till it's out.
Does that not out yet at all in any shape?
No, it's out in early access. The actual let me see, where are you? There. And then store page. How long are they planning on being in early access for? Where are we? Why early? There we go. 6 to 12 months.
Okay. Yep.
Is the planned period of time. So possibly out before the end of the year. Possibly not. But, man, if I run out of things to play, which, let's face it, fairly unlikely, between this and Screwdrivers, which I accidentally found on the Friday show as well, there's a couple of early access things I'd be really keen to get back to. But that was really, really cool. I really dug that, and I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed that.
It's a neat little find, that one. Yeah.
Yeah. And before anyone asks, I got no fucking idea how I found it. I can't even remember. Sometimes I find them on YouTube videos. Sometimes I stumble across shit on the Steam store. I don't know. Hey, speaking of things I don't know how I found. No, I know how I found this. Marvel Rivals. Did a video of it. I got into the closed beta. Would it surprise you, Graham, that it's not great? It's a fairly basic Marvel version of Overwatch, developed by NetEase. I think that kind of needs to be said. So, but it'll make a fuck ton of money, much like Fortnite. A bunch of people will play it. It's not the best thing you can play. It's completely fine. I'm not playing any more of it. I'm not playing it at launch. I played the beta for the video. Yeah, nah, fuck it.
Is it free to play? Going to free to play, I assume.
It will be on launch.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was only the closed beta, which I think was running for about. It might still actually be running, maybe. But if it is, it's very close to being done. It is due out before the end of the year, off the top of my head. But I mean, it's got the Marvel license. It will make a ton of money because of that, based on the typical free-to-play trappings that normally come into play and all that sort of stuff. I make the Fortnite comparison because, much like Fortnite, it is fine to play. It's not anything groundbreaking or earth-shatteringly brilliant. It's fine, which seems to be enough for a lot of people, because a lot of people played this to the point where you had like dipshits on the internet going, "Oh, Concord's gonna die because Marvel Rivals." I mean, Concord's gonna die because that's also not very good, but still. Moving on. Unlike Surmount, I actually finished the main campaign of Instruments of Destruction. Finished doing all the destruction. And it's fucking fun. There are a couple of weird little physics interactions, but it's just so much fucking fun just fucking shit up. And you get so many different ways of doing it. I 3-starred everything in the campaign. I unlocked all the bonus vehicles. And then after a little bit of thinking, I uninstalled it because I don't think I've got the brain to do that build and destroy campaign beyond that, what we did in the video. Because we saw my shitty little truck in the video, and that probably wouldn't get it done. But like, you see the complexity of the designs that come up in the main campaign in the vehicles they made, and then you're just sitting back going, "Nope, that ain't me." Like, my car's in I keep making reference to screwdrivers somehow. It works out. My car's in screwdrivers I thought looked really cool, but they worked all right, but they weren't that great. And then you see what the developers actually put in. It's like, oh man, I'm never going to be this smart. But Instruments of just like, if you think the frame rate tanks we saw in that video was something, you should have seen some of the fucking late game. Holy shit. A 4090 really struggled. But man, that game, the destructibility on that thing and just what it asks you to do is just really entertaining. And it stayed engaging the whole way through. The bonus objectives were great, and I just really dug that. That was really quite surprising too, how much I enjoyed that campaign. Another video game, I was going to say another video game I did, but another game that I did a video on, and I did the full playthrough because it's less than 4 hours long. Crow Country came out earlier this year on basically everything, except it doesn't seem Xbox One. But the key art is very illustrative of what the actual graphical style is. They're really doing a PS1 homage to it, including the sort of very segmented body of the main character Mara here. Now, there are twists that come up in that video. I labeled it spoilers in the title, so no one can complain. But I'm really digging the survival horror type. Maybe not too extreme horror. Like, that Alien Isolation fucked me. And it scared the shit out of me on did I play that? Yes, I did play that on stream. And like, apparently when you talk into a microphone, the alien can find you, which might have been part of my problem.
doing it on the stream, doing it, yeah.
Do it on the stream, and then I was just like, oh wait, the alien can't find me, and then somehow it rips me out of a fucking cupboard, and then I cry. I overthought a couple of the puzzles in the game, though. I'm sitting there going, how the fuck does this work? What the hell? And it turns out they were just really simplistic observational puzzles.
Oh, okay, yep.
And I'm like, God damn it. I really dig it, though. It's meant to be a little clunky like the early PlayStation 1 Resident Evil games. But it's cool. I dig it. People should play it. Something that is less cool, and I don't think people should play, is Tiny Breaker's Camp. I played the demo of this on the Friday show a while ago, and I thought it was promising. And turns out, no, it's not. It mixes like Breakout or Arkanoid, whichever one you're more familiar with, where you got the paddle, you got the ball, and you're hitting bricks. But there's a Pong element too, because the whole point is you're breaking through the bricks to hit the wall at the end of at the top of the playfield, which has hit points for some reason. I don't know. And after you finish quest, which is like 3 or 4 levels, every time you get dumped back to the main menu. That's annoying. which is really dumb. There's like literally a world map, but it dumps you back to the main menu for some fucking reason. But it's just fucking slow. I really can't oversell how slow it actually is to play. But I wanted nothing more to do with it after half an hour because I was just bored. I was so bored. The sound was like sort of tinny and a little chintzy. The pixel art looked all right, but it was a little basic. There wasn't much really to latch onto from any sort of personality perspective, like narratively, graphically, auditorially. Nothing really hooked. And I was just like, yep, peace out, you're gone. Hey, speaking of something else, I said, peace out, you're gone. RKGK, or Rakugaki. It's kind of Jet Set Radio, but you're running around on feet. And you're like, you have the ability to kind of skate with paint cans. Don't ask me how. And it takes place in a dystopian future where everyone is being mind-fucked by some asshole who doesn't want freedom of expression or anything like that. There's a lot of collectibles in the environment to an extent. I don't know if it wants you to find everything the first time through or if it gives you new abilities to go back into levels and things like that. But the more I played it, the camera got really in the way. And there was some mechanical elements and level design aspects that really got in the way as well. There was one where there was a column, a brick sort of column, and some rotating platforms. Only based on where the camera was hard locked in front of the tower. You couldn't see that there was a gap between a platform ending and the actual edge of the tower. So you could fall through it and die. So I'm like, that's shit. And then it just had these weird momentum breaks where there's spots where you can grind on a rail, like in Ratchet and Clank or like Jet Set Radio. And then, you know, those games where you do that and you come flying off the rail and you jump and you have some decent momentum and go further forward and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, not in this. The jump just basically goes the normal distance.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, yeah, nah, fuck this. Like, visually, it looks fucking amazing. But yeah, I don't want to play this at the expense of other things I've got on deck, because I don't want to fight with the camera and don't want to I'm not just going to play it for the sake of playing it. I played it and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not digging this. Bail. Mm-hmm. Which is a shame, but you know, these things happen. So we talked about doing a video of this, Pine Hearts. Another less than 4-hour experience. Sort of oh man, let me go, boop. I broke it. No, I didn't break it, but there we go. A cozy sort of adventure style game. You are this little guy. He has a name. I can't remember what it is. You go back to this mountain where your dad took you, and you're wandering around solving puzzles and basically unlocking memories that you had with your father. And your father's dead because of course he is. There's a lot of abilities and stuff you unlock based on the solving of puzzles when you go into different areas. But it's not like a Metroidvania or search action game where you can go anywhere at first, because sometimes it just will not let you in, or you can't get in unless you've got those abilities. Mm-hmm. It's not particularly the most complex thing. And I don't think it's the best one of these you'll ever experience. Did you ever play A Short Hike?
No, I didn't. I know of it, but didn't play it. No.
Yeah. About twice as long. Similar in the vibes front, like the sort of. Sorry. Hey?
So medium hike. Sorry.
It was a medium hike. Fuck you. You fucking motherfucker. In order to get into the last area, though, it ended up becoming a bit grindy because I didn't have all of the abilities I needed. So I had to run around, and like sometimes there's like little quests that just didn't show up, and I had to go actively looking for them using a guide. Mm-hmm. Which I'm like, well, that's a bit shit. But I dug it. I had a couple of achievements left, but I couldn't be bothered like looking for them because it was just needle and a haystacking some shit. And I'm just like, nah, we're done with this. About 3.5 hours, but but I really dug it. I enjoyed it. It was very nice, very pleasant, and it was like not that difficult. Not particularly well guided as far as signposting, but the environment was small enough that it didn't need to be a very hand-holdy guided experience. Just showcase, like maybe putting on the map an exclamation point where there's people who can give you quests, because there were a couple I missed. But otherwise, I enjoyed it. It was good. I don't know why the key art is basically a grey square. This is dumb. Peg Idol. Remember Peggle?
I certainly do. Great game.
What if Peggle was an idle game?
I think it'd lose its charm quite a lot.
You know what? You're not fucking wrong.
Because kind of so like that game is the characters and all the art and stuff, and the fact you're controlling.
So it tries to recapture some of that, but like the enjoyment of playing Peggle was also the nature of the boards, that the pegs were sort of in relatively unique patterns and fairly complex. This just seemed to recycle the same 8 board layouts, and like you get an achievement and you progress by playing the 10 levels of a stage, but you could play through and just kept playing through like 20, 25 boards until you get each level in the stage, because it's just determined by randomness. So like there's a bit where you can aim the ball and shoot it, and you can get more balls, so you're shooting like 6 balls at a time, and then you can set it where balls just randomly drop from the top, and that part's all right. But it's just so simplistic and super repetitive that I'm just like, hey, guess what? I played it for because it's an idle game, I was able to like play it for 2 hours. But man, it had no real purpose beyond that. It's just like, nah, fuck this. There's nothing to bring you back. But like, idle Peggle seems like a great idea to me.
Yeah, maybe.
If you do it right.
Yeah,
if you do it right.
I'm just not sure what doing it right would actually mean, though.
That I think making the boards more interesting. And like there is an element to which you can't just ignore it and not do anything like some idle games. But it's an early access game called Peglin, which is basically roguelike Peggle. Which I've got that in early access. I'm again waiting for the launch, and that seems a lot better. But yeah, a shame. I did a video of this game, and it's fucking fantastic. Tiny, Terry's, Turbo, Trip. Hey, Graham, do you like alliteration? Because this game's got alliteration out the arse. You are Terry, this little guy. And his parents went away on holiday. They left him behind because his school report was shit. So he determined that because they left him behind, fuck it, he's going to space. And he's going to go to space by getting himself a car. And he figured out that if he gets enough junk, he can get this character here to build more turbo on the car and drive into space, because for some reason, the city that Terry lives in has a monument in the city that is basically just an endless tower where the road drives into space, as you can see in the background of the key art. And it's just as ridiculous as it sounds. Like, there's a really interesting and unique art style. It is like, I can't remember where I saw this. I saw someone describe this as a short hike, but as a teenage delinquent. Which, when you hear it that way, it's like, yep, let's go. And you can just run around and hit people with a wrench. Nothing happens to you. This dipshit here doesn't like you, so you end up playing a version of bumper cars against him. She has a perpetually just continuous slobber, and she works at the employment joint where you go to, and you get the taxi, but you go to the taxi lady who is this person here, and you just say, I'm not going to do it on the job, I'm just driving to space. So she's like, fine, I'll make your turbos for you. And you're like, word. It is another fairly short game, about 4 hours. But just the different things it gets you to do, it's fairly, I don't want to say fairly simplistic, because it does get you doing some really weird different things. Like, you're playing a game of like soccer with an orange, or football with an orange against kids that are in your school, and you're trying to impress them. and you impress them by scoring a lot of goals in a minute and a half, 2 minutes. But because of the camera perspective, it was really rough to score 5 goals. And there's a dude who like is getting suntanned on the beach, and I showed this in the video. I didn't end up seeing the video. Didn't end up having what happened to him, but he was trying to suntan on the beach. His face caught on fire, and you try and tell him that his face is on fire, and he basically tells you to get fucked. It's just really, really well written, really clever. Again, much like Pine Hearts, relatively simplistic in what you're actually doing, but it's just super enjoyable.
Mm.
And like, you're causing chaos, and causing chaos is fun.
Mm.
You got a friend that you can take cars to, and he'll sell them stolen. It's fucking great. So yeah, that's up on the YouTube channel. As is a video for this, actually. Fuck. 9 Souls, which I just realized is not fully being... There we go. I would expect to hear about this and the next game for quite a while, because they're fairly long. It's got a really fucking gorgeous aesthetic where it has this sort of hand-drawn art style, and like this Asian sort of mythical aesthetic, but it has technological elements in it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it has the hand-drawn foreground, but backgrounds are sort of like 3D rendered polygonal type environments. It's basically like that search action, quote, Souls, slash, that's the word I was looking for, slash Souls-like.
Mm.
It's fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
I've died a lot. But yeah. It has a story. I wrote here, with a story, question mark. Because the story's not massively clear when you start it. You basically wake up as Yi, or E, Y-I, which I think Chinese pronunciation is either E or Yi.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up in a village with your friend Xuan Xuan, and then there's a belief that the village has that they get to take a spiritual journey, which involves them going into a machine, having their fucking head ripped off, and then they go on their spiritual journey to essentially heaven. And Yi's like, nah, fuck that, Xuan Xuan. That shit's gonna... No, I don't want your head getting ripped off. So he basically knocks him out of it and takes over and goes looking for the souls of the 9. And I've got 3 or 4 of them so far. Yeah. You get a little mystic nymph, which is like a little butterfly, which you can, again, see in the key art there, which you can use, like you bring that up anytime, send a little butterfly around, and it'll hack into devices that are behind little windows that you can't access. It's a fairly generous parry window where you press the left bumper to block or parry, and you either do a perfect one and you don't lose health, or if it's imperfect, you'll lose some health, but it's what's called white health in like a Street Fighter sense, where it's health that you've lost, but it'll regenerate over time. Mm. You can keep parrying that version and lose all of your actual health, but have a bunch of white health to recover. But if you get hit proper, you're dead. Mm. So I'm really enjoying this, but fuck, it's hard. It's the opposite of Ember Ward, put it that way. Ember Ward is very nice, pleasant, welcoming, and this is like, nope, fuck you, punch you in the face. The other game I would expect to hear about for quite some time, I have finally cracked into Ghost of Tsushima. Mm-hmm. I'd be lying if I didn't say there's a part of me that wish I had played this a fuckload of time ago. Because I'm actually really enjoying it. I don't know if you know this, Graham. Swords fuck people up.
I've heard that.
Particularly, like samurai swords in particular. Whew. You can sometimes, if you take about 3 or 4 hits, you can sometimes die. Just because of how gnarly samurai swords and shit are. But I really like the look of it. It's very, like, the environment design is incredible. The character models, you can tell it's sort of had as its base as a PlayStation 4 game. But lighting and the world design is fucking beautiful. I'm trying to figure out if I would really like to have some sort of compass mechanism at the top so it can show you what's sort of around you, because outside of going into the map and picking question marks on it, there's nothing actually on the HUD in the playing of it that actually tells you where to go, unless you've picked a place to actually go to. So it's go into the map, pick a place, go there, occasionally sometimes find somewhere else on the way. Once I've gotten to that place, go back into the map, pick a new place. But I dig it. It's very, very good, which a lot of people said it was very, very good at the time of release. So was that a surprise? No, but I like it. Moving on. One game I don't like. I ended up playing this on the Saturday show because I played it for about 45 minutes after work one day, and I was like, I need to play this on a video and then fucking get rid of it because the framing here is fucking fantastic, or it should be at least. There's this really interesting narrative conceit in that there's a wizard who doesn't like modern video games. He hates Call of Duty. He pines for the days of Quake and Doom and things like that. So basically, he designs a virtualized version of that and takes people who are either dead or something, I don't know, drops them in there so that they can play Unreal Tournament style single player games for him. And you kill them in the game, and then you can talk to them between games. And it's fantastic. But then, like, some government department is looking into something. One of the last things I saw is that the CEO of this massive corporation is the father of the wizard, and the wizard's just a fat kid who just really liked Quake. And but there's also a parallel plot of some other special agency that's investigating something, which I don't fucking know what it is, and it makes no goddamn sense. And I died, borderline was about ready to just walk into a wall, because the narrative conceit that was so interesting early on just gets ground into the dirt by fucking stupidity. There's most of the quote unquote deathmatch or the classic modes. You get like a capture the flag, you get kind of a King of the Hill, but one of the characters try to call it King of the Hill. And the wizard goes, no, it's not that. It's something else. And does the shifty eyes thing because he doesn't want to get sued. But there's only like 6 weapons in the game. And there's no rocket launcher. What the fuck? The shotgun felt like it had like a lack of punch, and it was sort of cumbersome to use. And like, how do you not have a rocket launcher when you're paying homage to those games?
Yeah.
But like, it's doing the single player Unreal Tournament thing. The developer seems like this sort of fucking edgelord tryhard fucking dipshit as well, because like you can see that's your character on the key art, and if you think that her boobies are big there, you should see her model in the game. I don't know how she doesn't fall forward. And then like someone put a comment on the discussion boards where it wasn't particularly well expressed. It wasn't eloquent. It was pretty inelegant, but basically it was like, yo, this is bullshit. This is ripping off Unreal Tournament. Fuck you. And then the developer quoted it, deleted everything that was said, just wrote in its place, incessant rambling, and then locked it. And it's like, fuck you, man. So yeah, I played it. I don't think it's very good. There was real potential, and God, they fucked it into the dirt. Last thing I played, well, not the actual last thing I played. There's a bunch of videos on the YouTube channel that shows everything I've played, but I wanted to mention this because we remember a few weeks ago, it's gone back some ways, when we looked at Sky Settlers. And you were trying to remember the name of the game, and we eventually found out off camera that this was the game you were trying to remember. Or it was either this or Land Above, Sea Below.
Yeah, not this one. This is not familiar for me.
Yeah. Well, in us trying to figure out what game that was, I ended up picking up a lot of the hex-based building, tile-based building games. And much like Islanders, much like Sky Settlers, this game's fucking great. To the point where I played it on the Saturday show, And there's about a half hour, 45-minute game I had where I forgot to talk because I was so intently focused on trying to build and maximize points. It's fucking cool. And there are times where you get a little like blimp like this. Like, I don't know. I don't like Dwarf Romantic seemingly just gave license and Islanders almost, but people just gone, Dwarf Romantic's cool, Islanders is cool, let's make our own version. Pa! And they did, and it's fucking great. And I saw Deadpool and Wolverine, and that movie is fucking fantastic. I don't know if that's a surprise to anyone. Like, they actually justify the return of Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. It's the first Deadpool movie under the Disney banner, and goddamn it, they stick it something cruel. Maintain the level of violence, maintain the level of swearing. There's a bunch of winks and nods. Wesley Snipes, Wesley Snipes is in the movie. I'm not going to tell you why. I think people need to see that and experience that themselves. But holy fuck, is it fucking amazing. And there's a version of Deadpool that does the dance from Instinct's Bye 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 as the intro, and that's fucking hilarious. Anyway, I have a must listen. I'll do that later. But that's been basically my last 3 weeks. Spending money and playing lots of video games, most of which ended up on the internet. Hey, Graham.
Well, my games. I've only got. Well, I travelled, as you know. I went.
Did you? I saw you. I saw a Steam pop up saying you were playing this. Was this on the Ally?
I played this in a couple of places. So I played it since I got back, and also on the Ally. But so I had a trip to Melbourne. Obviously, and a flight to Melbourne and a flight back. So I loaded up the Ally before, and I was obviously waiting for how many? I was away from Sunday to flew Melbourne on Sunday, back on Friday. So not quite 6 days, 5 days, depending how you count it. I was obviously just working for 4 of those days. So, but I also had the evenings, a bit of the evenings, working. I was travelling with colleagues, so it wasn't a complete. I'm on my own. I can do my own thing at home time. So I had after work commitments, you could say. So my window of actually playing was small. It would be if I was on my own, if that makes sense. And I load up the Ally with... How many I load? I load up the Ally with I Am Future. About half a dozen different games. I thought I might play these while I'm away, basically. I Am Future had released, unbeknownst to me, but had put out a big update. A big content update with solar power and stuff like that in, and actually had unlocked a new area. So I basically played the game to explore that area. So
is that the relationships one as well?
No, that's just come out.
Yeah.
So there's that. That's only come out in the last 2-3 days.
Yeah, last couple of days.
Yeah, this one was the one before. This was back in May. This other update I'm talking about. So yeah, they've released update, added in some more power options, which I don't think will be. If I go show you this, let's just see. I don't think there's any.
I doubt the screenshots will have been updated on that tip yet.
No, they won't be. I'm just trying to find. No, they don't have what I'm after in there anyway. So I was hoping to show you the power things that you can do.
How's it holding up?
I really like it. Look, yeah, it's...
Yeah.
Oop, that's going to be cut back for a sec. Something's happened over here.
Something happened.
Yeah, and I really like it. I mean, it's as I said, they've not changed the mechanics of the game a great deal with what they've done. Because all they're really doing is adding. So when they first played the game, when the first game came out, you could see they had other areas of the environment that were going to be progressively opened up as their development progressed. Literally has little signs saying "coming soon" in the actual world. So it wasn't just.
Okay.
And you could see behind it, an area that you were going to be able to get into. So they've done that further by And also they're going to have progression in terms of things you can make and that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, so they added a new area, but the main thing they added in that particular updating was a pretty big change to power. When you in the initial game, all you had was biomass, so basically you feed these little generators basically plants, and that becomes energy. But in this in the solar power in this particular update in May, they added solar generators, so you basically have little solar power panel things. But they also added in a weather cycle effectively. So prior to that game, all you just had was nice days. It was always sunny, sort of thing. Not that they didn't say that. Like the game didn't have a sunny icon, sort of thing. Every game was just every day was sunny. But when they introduced this solar panel thing, they added in a weather system effectively. So each day the weather would change. So you might have 2 or 3 days in a row where it's all sunny. You might have a day where then it's raining. Then it might be cloudy sun, and then it might go back to sun, and this sort of randomizes it through that process. Um, so the impact of that is that you've got these solar panels that when it's raining don't do anything. They don't work. When it's cloudy, they don't work either. So you've now got this balancing act where you've got to figure out. Those added in batteries as well as a storage unit.
I was going to ask if there were solar batteries.
So they've added in batteries as well. So basically, you spend the time, and obviously overnight the generators don't do anything either. The solar panels don't do anything. So you've got to basically get your power grid into a situation where you've got enough biomass generators that can feed it during overnight, or over the period of time where there's no sun, which could be 2 or 3 in-game days of that. So you're going to have enough power to produce that over time. So it's an interesting little mechanic they've added to it in terms of that. The new area was okay. It had a massive hole in it, because that's a part of this game. It seems to, like, the environment they've created. In fact, there might even be screenshots that show that off. You can sort of see in the bottom of that picture there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the initial starting area.
This is the initial start area, then the main screenshot here. So through the other parts of the environment, there are basically holes in the ground that reveal what appears to be more of the environment below. Whether they've got plans to allow to go up and down the levels, I don't know, maybe. So they've got that as well. And this area had a big, massive hole. It was a sporting area. Like, it actually turned into it was a person in the original world. It was their gym that they ran. So it had a basketball court and a exercise area and that kind of stuff in it. There's a little bit of lore there, but it was pretty lightweight. So they didn't really. It was a bit of more of a side lore rather than the main story one. Whereas the upgrade they've just done that came out a couple of days ago, which I only just started getting into late last night, does in fact progress the story, quote unquote, of the game. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that, because the story is actually kind of interesting. It's got it's more to it than you kind of think it would be for the type of game that it is. But yeah, so it's like I'm intrigued how that story will go over time. But yeah, I've put in. I think I played it for probably a good dozen or so hours while I was away, just doing that first area, because I only when I came back did they release a second area, sort of thing. So I'm up to 40 hours so far in the game. So I've played a fair bit.
Holy fuck!
I've played a fair bit of it. And I think in the last 2 weeks is probably 15 hours in the last 2 weeks. So that includes the trip away plus time will come back. So yeah, I've played that a fair bit.
You tend to find the occasional early access game and just fucking go, oh, this is awesome, and just deep dive it.
Dude, I'm not into like you and I. Our game tendencies are so far apart in what we play. So that's
there's some crossover, which you'll get to.
There's some crossover, but when I like you've put hours and hours into Apex, I just bailed off that quick time. So So, but
I played a disgusting amount of Apex.
Yeah. So I played over nearly 40 hours of it. So really dig what they've done. It's just one. literally is like the full name of the game is it's not I am future. It's like I am future
Cozy
cozy something
something
something.
something.
Yeah. So, and the cozy is there. It is. There's no
Cozy apocalypse survival.
yeah. There's no jeopardy really at all in the game. Um, you get these creatures that are doing damage to the environment, but they're incredibly easy to deal with. In fact, with this update, they've added more options to deal with them. So there's
They're the
not
cornholes that come off the weeds.
yeah exactly. So you can
Those little
contain them now.
assholes.
You can contain them
Ooh,
a little bit. I don't know. Again, there probably won't be anything in the screenshot about it. In fact, I don't even think they're in the
I'm
screenshot.
just waiting for this to actually come out before I play any of it.
Yeah, they don't have anything. But yeah, there are those
Wait,
little
hang on. Go back to that disassemblage part, Scott, for a second. Because I
Mm.
don't think that was in the demo when we looked at it.
Uh,
It
the,
might be the last shot.
there was, but they're not to that
That one.
degree.
Yeah, like you're individually disassembling it and taking it apart.
Yeah, I don't know if they were in the demo, but yeah, I
Hmm.
think there was in the demo, but maybe not.
Oh,
Like
okay.
a microwave I'm disassembling in that screenshot. There might have been a small like a kettle or something in the demo, maybe. Um,
Oh, I think you're right.
there was. I think they're
Now
pretty
you
sure
say that.
there was some sort of. Um, let's say you get some of your materials out of that as well.
Hmm.
Um, I've also played Cat Quest 3.
Have you
Um,
played any of the first two yet?
I've not played any of the first two. I just jumped into this one because I bought the bundle, so I've got all three of them now. But I'm playing with this one. Um, I probably won't play the other two. I'll just stick with this one for the time being. Um,
Oh, they're so good.
this game is actually, I mean, as you said, this game is really, really neat. Um, so, as I had no interest, had no, sorry, no interest, had no knowledge of the previous games really.
Hmm.
Um, the you control this little cat dude, who's I think's got a name.
Yep.
His name escapes me. The movie doesn't have a name in the game. Not sure now. Um,
Most of the time they do have a name. It's just a pretty simple one off the top of my
yeah,
head.
don't think this one. Yeah, can't remember what it is. Um, and you basically control this little dude, and it's basically an action game. So you're in the. I'll go to the last one. No, don't want that. I'll go to the last picture because that shows. So that's how you're playing the game from that perspective,
Mm-hmm.
sort of like the isometric one. I'm playing with the controller, so you've got um, left stick controls the character, right does. There's no camera at all. It's a fixed camera.
Yep.
And you've got attacked options. You basically attack with a ranged weapon or a up close and personal. And as you progress through the story, you can pick up new higher value weapons that do more damage, have buffs and stuff like that on it, like the electricity shocks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And between these little sort of islands, you're on this little boat, which is that, and that's how you're going around. That's the main sort of well mapped traversal, and that boat can also shoot has its own
Mm.
upgrade price as well.
That's
Um,
the new thing in Cat in 3.
yeah, as I said, I didn't have no knowledge of the other games in terms of how you got around the world, but I had heard this was new. It's really simple. You fly it around. You can shoot the weapon out basically out from the front, um,
Hmm.
and three or three shots at an enemy like this little boat that's in the screen here, and you'll basically take it down. You get some gear, you get some XP and stuff for it, but that's really about it. Um,
Hmm.
there are some bigger ships that can really fuck you up big time. Um, I can't see. There's nothing in this at the moment, but the music in it is fucking awesome. It is really good music.
Wasn't the first two as well.
There's even a character that's basically metal something. Like it's a metal
Fuck
band.
yeah.
It's a basically a metal band. And the music they have, and it's really really good music. So yeah, it's really. I probably put in, as I said, I only started playing it um, yesterday, and I've already put in about 3 hours into it.
Mm.
I'm playing on the easiest level because I don't really give a shit about difficulty on the games like this anymore. I just play for enjoyment rather than challenge. So leveling up's really simple. The story is interesting. You're trying to find this North Sea. God, what are they calling it? North Star or something? Um, yeah, North. some star you're trying to find. Um, and yeah, he's traversing the world, picking up, going through items, doing dungeons as well, which have like a number of chests in each one. So you give an idea. I've got there are 6 chests in this dungeon, so you then um, work through it to find the chests, and then from those you'll get XP and gold and stuff like that. And that first screenshot I had was that little screenshot there. That's the blacksmith that can upgrade your gear.
Mm.
So you can upgrade the gear and use just regular currency for that. There's also a magic upgrading NPC as well, and you use I'm not sure even mana I guess is what it is, but I don't know if they actually named I don't know if they actually named it or anything. Um, yeah, so you get that as well, and that's how you upgrade your gear and stuff as well. So it's just a really neat game. It is really really neat.
Yeah.
Um, it's visually it looks really neat. As I said, the music's really good. Every single line of dialogue has some sort of play on cat terms.
Yeah, they
Like
did that with the first two as well.
so, it's like it's just really nice. It is just a nice game to play.
Mm.
Um, Steam World Heist 2. That's another game
Hey,
I played.
speaking of pirates,
Yes. um, I played this a little bit on the flight over, and then a little bit more when I got to. Oh no, so I didn't play this game. This game came out while I was away, but I was playing the first one a bit on the flight over, just to get an
oh,
idea,
okay,
to get an idea of what the game was like. Um, when I realised I liked it, I didn't really play it much more because I didn't want to play through that, and then have to then go straight into this one. So
yeah,
basically, I just bailed on the first one and said, "Right, I'll just wait for this comes out, and I'll stick to this one." Basically, um, this game's really good as well.
mm.
I think you and I are probably we're big fans of the World, SteamWorld World
Franchise,
franchise. You know, we've got the digs, you got the build from the earlier. It was last year, um,
yes,
and now these heist ones. Um, this one's like this game's got the same thing. You've got the same mechanic of you shoot up in um, you can ricochet shots. It's all
yeah,
turn based. So it's actually it's XCOM 2D effectively.
yep.
So you've got the ability to hide behind um, cover and get cover.
Probably not a
You
good idea to hide behind an explosive barrel
no,
like that dude has.
that's a bad idea.
Yeah, it is.
You've got that's showing an idea of the ricochet with a grenade. So you
Yep.
pick up every enemy most of your characters you've got start with just a single weapon,
Mm.
and they can pick up grenade stuff along the way or healing packed on the way and that kind of stuff. They've also each one's got a melee option as well that when they're within like right next to an enemy they can just do a melee attack and take them out. Um, but the big thing that's probably in that sort of I think so in the first game it was space based. Space is in space.
Yes.
This one it's based on this
Yeah,
um,
pirate shit.
pirate stuff and your boat which you're controlling. You can just in the center there. You control that, and that's how you get around the world. So there's
So
no
the boat is direct control, not
direct
like
control. Not like the previous one where
Huh.
you went from where you went from place to place and basically stopped there.
Yeah.
This one is looking. This has got complete control. I think eventually, from based on the story, it actually turns into a submarine as well. Haven't got to that point in
Okay.
the
I was
story
going to
yet.
ask what sort of exploration elements are there in this overworld.
It's quite big. There's a lot of it.
Okay.
And there's I don't. I'll see if they've got any. So next screenshot. There's the upgrade options for your character.
Leslie.
Whereabouts is it? I don't know if they're going to show off what I'm looking for. So you've got the ability, like this guy who would be, I think you could dock with. So that's how you find missions as well. You basically just
Yep.
control the ship and go up to the area and then dock with it. Your ship automatically fires when it's within range of enemies, so you don't actually fire
Okay.
you just automatically fires. You've got three, at the moment so far, three weapon slots, I guess is the right term to use, and that either
Mm-hmm.
that so basically allows you to fire in a certain. Some are going to fire sideways, some will fire forwards, that sort of thing. So basically you sail around, and as you go next to the enemies, the boats, they just start firing and they basically just blow up, and from
Mm.
that they'll leave debris. Like you see a couple of debris
Okay.
piles on the street, and that's how you're getting your water. Funny enough, you're getting water from debris and water, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but there you go.
Doesn't need to.
No. And then when you're doing the actual missions, that's when you're getting the more gear for your own characters, and you can also get water through those missions as well.
And hats.
And hats as well. Yep, the hats isn't another neat little part of it. This is the main ship. You play as that character on the right there, who I think the link to the first game is I think this guy's related to a character from the first game. Is how I think it.
Okay.
I think that's how it works out. So don't quote me on that though, but that's how I think it is. And yeah, so you're playing around. You've got when you level up your characters, these abilities just unlock automatically. There's no currency to unlock them; they just unlock as you level up the character. So you're earning XP by doing missions, which is fairly straightforward. Um, um, what else are we going to show you? Visually, it looks really fucking awesome. It just looks really
Yeah.
good. It's really clean. The music, as I said, the music is really, 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 really good.
Lovingly jaunty.
Yeah, it's got like the soundtrack. You can buy the soundtrack with the Steam release, maybe the other ones as well. I'm not too sure. And the music is going to be discussed when we do Game of the Year. I can almost guarantee it because it's been purposely written by a particular band for the music. It is really, really good music.
Sounds like both that and Cat Quest.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So the only mechanic that's interesting, so you recruit when the game starts. You've got Weasley, which I think you mentioned earlier, because that's from the first game, I think. And you get another character called Daisy, I think her name is, and she's the sniper. In fact, I think they might be here on screen now. And then you can also recruit new characters from various basically bars in the place, and they cost water to recruit. Pretty sure that's how they recruit water, I think.
There's some sort of resource cost because that's what it was in the first game.
Yeah, so you can upgrade. You can buy new gear as well by going to the same places and spending money on them. And that's water. Pretty sure to get. Pretty sure it's water to get. You've also got fragments, which are how you upgrade the boat. They're just a material you pick up during the missions. You've also got bounties as well, which you basically get through doing the various missions. And they also another thing to get more stuff. You build up a reputation, which I don't know if anyone. No, it doesn't ever show up. There's a reputation mechanic, and that's basically how well you do in each mission. You get 1, 2, or 3 stars, and those stars lead to how many reputation you got, and that's how the game.
What's the conditions on the stars?
Like complete the missions worth 1 star. Might be 2 stars, and then get all the bonus. Complete all the bonus. It gives you a 3rd star kind of a thing.
Okay.
And if you lose one of your characters, you lose a star. So basically, get through that dying sort of thing is going to get 2. Complete all the side objectives is 2. Is another one, and that's how most of the time you get 3. Most of the missions so far have been 2 character missions. One has been a 3-player one. There's actually been 1 single character one as well. So the bit of variety there. The interesting mechanic they've got in the game is that it's basically got not a day-night cycle, not running through, but at the end of you can only do each character can only do 1 mission per day, and to finish a day you go to one of these bars, and you basically end the day, and then that flicks into the next day, and then everything basically resets. So currently I've got 4 characters in my crew. I can do 2 missions with 2 sets of characters, and a second mission with the other 2, and that's all I can do for the day. They can't do a second mission each. So you got to basically, so they're sort of forcing you to end each day, and that's how they're progressing the story, because there's story beats linked to certain days being completed and stuff like that. So it's a really neat. I really do dig that game a lot. I mean, I liked it when I played the bit of the first one. I didn't. I thought, okay, I know what this game's like. I'll stop playing this and just wait for the second one to come out. Because I had read that there's no story link between the two games, other than there's some character link between the two. But no,
Mm.
one's not a prologue, no one's not a sequel to the other one, that sort of thing. So there was no sort of risk per se in just dumping into the second game.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so it's really really neat. I'm digging that a lot.
The band that provided the music is called Steam Powered Giraffe.
That's right, correct.
And they self-describe as a musical act that combines robot pantomime, puppetry, ballet, comedy, projections, and music. I saw them on a list of top 10 weirdest or strangest bands on Watch Mojo on YouTube.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Seems to have been some controversy with a couple of members. I don't think there's a musical act that doesn't have that. But they do like weird little robot movements and shit in videos. It's weird.
Okay. No, they also they're just the music they've done for this game is just really really good. Republic of Pirates is basically an Anno game. We've done those. We did that.
You're fucking getting hell of piratical on this one, aren't you?
I'm not too sure why. It's just been the theme. Yeah, so this game is basically just Anno. It's a neat version of it's a neat equivalent though. So it's got the same mechanics. You've got you're laying down the road. You're laying down huts and stuff like that. And you've got to make sure things are in a certain range and that kind of stuff. You've seen the Anno games when we did our video a while back. I think the thing that's a bit different to me from this compared to this game is I think the story is a bit more front and center than they are in the Anno games. And it's all voice acted. It's like a really good voice acting for the characters as well. So, yeah, I haven't played a lot of it, but I have dug what I played, and I will eventually get back to it. You can play with the controller, and I tried playing this on the Ally, but it just didn't really work. I think it might be okay on a with a proper controller on a big screen like I have at home, but I think on the Ally it didn't quite work as well as I was hoping it would. But, still liking that a lot, but I will get back to that at some point. And the last game, I played this today for about 2 or 3 hours. It's The Crust. This is a management boom city builder kind of a game set on the moon. This game has sort of think Ixion, that game that I played a lot of.
Yep.
Was that last year? Shit, when was that? Was that last year?
Think so.
Was Ixion last year? I think it was last year. Where the only sort of main difference between that and this game is that the city building also takes place, if I find this, underground. So
Ixion also had the limitation on like a Halo sort of ring.
Yeah, so it's not quite the same as this because it's no production lines. You can actually see in there you've got conveyor belts going from one thing to another. So it's not quite.
So it's a Graham game.
It's that's why I'm playing
it.
So it's basically like it's probably more akin to Dyson Sphere than probably Ixion when I think about it. It's got conveyor belts, you've got material workflow and production chain stuff like that. It's pretty production level is really quite high. It's in early access. Came out like about a week ago. Hasn't been out for very long at all. Give me 2 secs. Wait a second. So, God, when did it come out?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if this is getting an actual release or not.
About a month ago, it came out on early access. About a month ago.
Okay.
And it's in early access. The version they've just done a patch on is 0.9, so they might be close. Their roadmap seems to have more stuff happening Q3, Q4, and into next year, I think. So I think they've still got a bit to go, but yeah, like it's a very good. I don't know how much content is there at the moment, but I think there's a fair bit there. All the I'll just see if there's any screenshots that can contain what I'm looking for.
God, I am nowhere near smart enough for this. It fucking scares me. Look at all this shit.
There's also there's a global map, like a map of the moon as well that you've got to sort of get around. So there's that guy in the bottom left-hand corner. That character's dialogue. That's actually all voice acted in the game that I have played so
Okay.
far. So the production levels are quite high. All voice acting is pretty neat, pretty good, pretty solid. Music's pretty good as well. Been a bit of a theme of this list of games. The music's all been really solid in all of them. You've got your standard stuff. You've got your power on. You've got solar power on top that powers the elevator, which I think is.
How do you have solar power on the moon?
Well, the sun at some point.
What sort of bullshit wizardry is this?
He's in the sky. He's in the space. It does have its axis. The sun is there.
Oh yeah.
It's not but
Well, there's the dark side of the moon and all that sort of shit.
yeah, and they do reference that. Like they do.
I'm not that fucking out of line asking that question.
No, but so there isn't any. He's a bit of a stretch.
I forgot. Yeah, right. Leave me alone. I fucking forgot. All right.
You forgot the moon's up in the sky, did you? Okay, cool.
Yep. Be like you asking me who John Cena was.
I knew what? You don't do that. I know John Cena is. What?
You can't see me.
Yeah, like I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying this game a lot. It's got your standard stuff. It's got research in it. You've got the. There's been there's on ground mechanics, which is where the power comes from. Then there's all that underground stuff, which I think is going to be where you'll spend most of your time because of all the stuff is in here. There's even the bit I'm really intrigued by is this bit, which looks like you're building actual crew quarters, and building walls and stuff like that. So I'm really intrigued by how that all fits into it, because I've not so far the game has just had me not even controlling. Whenever you build something. Just want to see if there's a picture of one. I'm not seeing any in here. There's drones that do all the actual mechanics of all the work.
Oh.
And they do all the resource gathering, and they ship stuff from one place to another and repair the ships and stuff like that. But when I saw this picture, when I was looking through it earlier, I thought, oh, am I actually going to be controlling people as well? So, but they might just be colonists animated in the game, but you don't actually directly control them. So I'm not too sure how that goes, but. It's also possible from a pre-release it's never not happening in the current game. I don't know, but yeah, I'm looking forward to continuing with that one because it does look very much up my alley for sure. But yeah, I'm enjoying that a lot as well.
Hang on, is it actually because this information here has got November early access, July 15 full release?
Yeah, it's all IGD, so don't worry about it. That it literally came out only a month ago. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that further. It's probably I'm not sure what point I'll get into it big time, but because it does require mouse and keyboard, which means I won't be playing that probably after work, would be my guess. But I've been watching an awful Olympics, so not a lot of game playing has happened. Most of the game playing I've just talked about has been since I've got back, not while I was away.
Yeah.
So I've watched quite a lot of the Olympics that's been going on. So, but yeah, that is.
I have literally watched like fuck all of the Olympics.
That is all I have for me. So let me click a button and go that. So yeah, what I want that button, and let's do this. Yeah. So as I said earlier before the break, I have been watching a lot of the Olympics. I've been watching using Stan because I've got a Stan subscription.
I don't anymore.
It's what they've done on Stan has been really, really, really good. Ad free is the first thing. No ads. I've not seen a single ad, and I've watched probably 4 or 5 hours a night of it, and watched replays and stuff of it. Not a single ad in it, which is hence ad free. They've had like basically dedicated video feeds for every single event, so you can't miss anything. So even the obscure stuff that you might want, what's the rock climbing sort of thing? Okay, I'll go watch the rock climbing. The breaking, which has been really odd, but anyway. You've got that. You've got all these dedicated channels. They've had replays of everything. It's basically on the same par that Fox still did about a decade ago for the London Olympics, where they had a lot of dedicated channels at that point. That was all for cable. So yeah, it's been really, really impressive. Really, what they've done has been really, really good. And it's also been because you're not getting the Australian produced stuff, which is what you would be getting on Channel 9, because they're doing a similar sort of thing in their stuff. It's not Australia focused to the point of
it's not very partisan.
It's not very. It's
come on, Australia.
Yeah, it's like you see. I've seen a lot of the stuff on the Channel 9 stuff just on highlights. I'm saying, geez, I couldn't deal with that being so.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's good being pro-Australian. Of course, we've done very well in the Olympics. We've done, won a lot of medals, all that sort of stuff. That's all great. But the coverage I've been watching it's basically come from Eurosport over in the UK, is where most of Stan is getting their stuff from. They've also had stuff in, like, they've had all the coverage in Italian, German. You had a New Zealand one as well, which I don't really know. Yeah, they've had that. They've had like 6 or 7 different other languages as well. So they've done a really good job with it. So
I did very quickly look up on the Channel 9 website, the stream 9 Now. They had the basketball, and they had like just whoever the international basketball commentator was, just seemingly the license, the feed.
The people just went with the world feed of that, yeah.
Yeah. Which, 2 things made me really laugh about that dude. One, he said Drew Holiday as J. Rue Holiday, which I thought that was really funny. And then he kept saying Nikola Jokic. And I thought that was funny too. I watched 15 minutes of that first US Serbia game. I've watched nothing else. I liked the Olympics when it was in Japan and I could just stream live basketball games while I was at work. Bullshit.
Yeah, obviously with it being where it is, so most of the coverage starts at 5. Basically, it's 5 p.m. our time to 5 a.m. is the day sort of thing. So I've been basically watching it until sort of midnight, and then that's it. Then I'll watch replays of stuff that happens overnight. So yeah, the coverage. But yeah, on Stan, I said I cannot fault what they've done on Stan. It's been absolutely brilliant, and I'll do the same when the Paralympics kicks off in a couple of weeks' time as well.
Where's the next one? LA, isn't it?
LA in 28. Yeah.
Fuck, that means that's going to be on a fucked up timeline too.
Yep.
God damn it.
That's probably going to be. That's actually, I think, worse than what this one is. Because this one at least the starts at our time starts in the evening. Well, basically prime time for us. Then it's.
It'll start fucking way later at night.
Yeah.
But it'll run way earlier and run through to later in the morning.
Go through more later into the day, so it's a bit different. Yeah. But I think it all comes down to the sports you want. So that's really what it boils down to. If your sport is only on
basketball.
In the morning, then this one's been really good because they'll start at 5 o'clock in our time, 5 o'clock in the evening. When it comes to LA, they'll start at like midnight or something when they'll start. If your sports in the evening, then you'll be great because it'll be probably lunchtime. So, depending on what sports you're following. So yeah. But yeah, that's been my couple of weeks away, and yeah. So you had a must listen, you said before we
must listen. I have added a few. There it is. I have added a few albums to the old 2024 playlist on the Spots. But I think most of the more recently added ones I haven't actually listened to yet off the top of my head. Or if I have, they haven't been that great, so I just deleted them. And that would actually be the case. There it is. I haven't listened to much of that later stuff. But Turin, The Unforgiving Reality in Nothing, came out, about 6 weeks ago. A little bit less vocally diverse as I tend to like. A little bit vocally samey, but very well written, and the musical composition is very, very good. But like there's any surprise, it's brr. It's a very good one of those. And the new Fit for an Autopsy album's out soon. Brand of Sacrifice is coming to Australia with Thy Art Is Murder, and I'm contemplating whether I'm going to spend $70 to go see one band and leave before the main performer.
I'm sure others have done that in the past with some other people.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure that's not unusual, but
because it's like I have no interest in seeing Thy Art Is Murder live, but fucking I want to see Brand of Sacrifice. That'll be dope. But hey, we'll see how we go.
So, we will obviously have stuff coming out on the YouTube channel throughout the week. I may get back to a Solar Factory, I'm not too sure. It's probably going to go into hibernation until 1.0 comes out, like in literally a month from now.
I was going to say like 3 or 4 weeks.
3 or 4 weeks, so we'll probably hibernate that for a bit. You'll have more checkouts next weekend, hopefully. We haven't planned what we're going to do next weekend. We'll figure that out when we get closer. You've got your Friday Night Fun as always.
Friday Night Fun and the Saturday Special.
So, yeah, that will do for now. This has been the Should I Play This Game podcast for the 12th of August 2024. Thank you again, Steve.
Welcome back.
Thank you. And we will back for another podcast in a fortnight. Look out for stuff on the YouTube channels between time. But until then, goodbye. Thank you.